You're listening to the Belmar Bytes podcast, brought to you by Belmar Consulting. Hey, Matt. Welcome back. Excited to do another episode. We are on, I guess, opposite corners of the continent, like we often are, but
Yes, we are.
we are together on the pod. So this is great. How's we're approaching the end of January. How's January been for you?
You know what? It's been a nice cool down from. I'm sure it's the same for you over the holidays. It's just event after event after event. So it's been nice being able to. I'm not a big routine guy, but it's nice to have a couple kind of comfortable routines to step back into. But no, I'm excited. I'm energized. It's funny. We're on opposite sides of the continent. The sun has not even risen on my side of the world yet. So it's evidently very bright over there, Scott. So it's great. The internet's a beautiful thing. We can hop on a pod here, and it's as if we're in the same room.
There we go. Awesome. Well, it's
What
interesting
what
you
about
bring
you,
up.
Scott? I didn't do the same. How's your
Yeah,
January been?
January. It's good. Yeah, it's busy. It's the end of the Salesforce fiscal, which is always creates some extra busyness. So talking to our friends at Salesforce, they're all seems like many of them are. I shouldn't say all, but many are running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, just like trying to close out the month strong and close out the year strong. So supporting some of our friends and colleagues over there. And but I hear you in terms of routine. I mean, we're recording this on a Friday, and last night I was pretty beat. It's been a busy week. I've been at a couple of events this week, and and I know you've been at an event this week, and it's just let's put it this way. I woke up yesterday, being Thursday, and I thought it was Friday. It just kind of felt
Yeah.
my body was telling me it's Friday, but unfortunately, it wasn't. But the good news is I got I guess an extra day in the week, so that worked.
Great.
That's worked out well. But
How was that event? And what sounds like we're going to talk about a bit about events, but
yeah, yeah,
how was your
yeah,
event, Scott?
yeah, it was good. I in the last week I've been at a couple. I went to where I am in West Palm Beach. There's a technology happy hour once every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's cool. It's called the West Palm Beach Tech Happy Hour, and it's a pretty vibrant community. Yeah, like just lots of. I mean, you got founders, with startups. You've got people that are, in the tech world in some capacity, like myself, and so it's cool. Yeah, there's often a couple hundred people, and
Oh, wow.
so yeah, it's really grown, and so it's pretty cool. So I was at that, and then a couple of days prior to that, we have got a relationship with the United Way, and they had uh, I forget the name of the event, but it was like a leaders something or other. So forgive me, United Way, for forgetting what the name of the event was. But yeah, it was cool. They hosted it at this venue called the Manatee Lagoon, which is for anybody that knows what a manatee is. Uh, and I'll explain what a manatee is in a second. But it's there's like kind of this warm water area that there's a power plant that discharges warm water, and so the manatees come at this time of year and calve, and so it's pretty cool. So for those of you who don't know what a manatee is, Google it. It's kind of this bulbous sea creature. It's they're a mammal, but they're not a whale. They're not a shark. They're not a fish. They're in their own category. So, anyhow, a manatee. So
I uh, I totally misheard that. I thought you were saying amenity. I was thinking,
no, not a
that's an
manatee.
interesting looking phrase, but
Manatee.
it's a manatee. That's even more interesting.
Manatee. Yeah. So,
So were
but
there actually manatees
yeah,
at
yeah.
this
Oh, for
event
sure. Yeah,
then?
like it's a really cool venue. It's called the Manatee Lagoon. They've got this like really beautiful building.
Oh,
It's an
cool.
educational facility for like you go and learn about manatees and other things. And so there's a lot of events that get hosted there. So, but back to United Way, they're doing great things and in Palm Beach County, Florida, and so yeah, I went to just network and talk to people that I know and met some people that I didn't know, and it was awesome. So, yeah, just in person.
Yeah.
We tend to live behind these cameras so much that it's really great just to be out in person and making connections.
Is that a goal for you for 2026? Or sounds like 2 events a week. That's some good volume there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what's the strategy, or I guess what do you hope to get out of these in-person events, as well?
yeah. I think just being in person, it's just a different dynamic, and we are we're in the people business. We're solving technology or we're delivering technology solutions to enable organizations that are filled with people who have to do certain things. And, so when we're running projects and we're supporting customers, I mean, we're at the end of the day, we're in the people business. So, uh, getting in front of people, building relationships, I love doing that stuff. And, it's just nice to get into a format that, you're not having to be completely, you know, switched on, staring at a camera, and so and I guess you asked the question. I'm maybe going off script here a bit, but you asked, "Is this a goal?" I would say more in person is going to happen in 26 for me. It's
Mm.
in front of customers, in front of prospects, in front of our friends at Salesforce. Those are important things. So yeah, I expect to be certainly on a weekly basis in front of one or more of those categories.
Yeah, I could not agree more. The, in-person is so different. It's, it's one thing to hear somebody's story over a phone call or over a virtual meeting, and granted, we're recording this podcast virtually, but it just hits differently when you're able to just see the body language, the passion, the energy that somebody has. I'll give you an example. I know you said you were at a couple events this week. I was at a great executive dinner that we were hosting a couple days ago in partnership with Sage, and we had some customers in the room. We had some prospects in the room. We just had friends of these customers come in, and just the the energy was just. I wish there's such thing as like an energy meter for these rooms, because it was
Yeah.
just it was pumping. Which first off, that restaurant was amazing. I don't know if you heard of it before. It's called LM. Just such a cool concept. Very modern restaurant. I didn't even know it was a restaurant, but they made it work. They took care of us, and just the venue is perfect for uh, rotating around, talking to people in a really just unforced capacity. But when you see somebody's passion for their story in person, you just read it all over them. It just gives a different, almost a different dimension to the work that we're doing. I love that you said we're in a people business. There was one of our Sage counterparts there, his name is Antu, had said, trust is currency, which
Yeah.
is fantastic. I mean, I could not agree more. And you build that trust when you hear people's story, when you actually listen and you build relationships. And I think nobody's expecting perfection from anybody, but when you have a person, and I've heard this many times this week on kickoff calls that I've been on with our clients, it's just they're so happy that they can get a hold of a person, a human being, and not just um, an email address that they send to. So uh, it's a person, it's a people business. I love that, and I love that we're doing more events as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there's so many ways to connect with people outside of I guess what I'll call the transactional email, Slack, you know, Google Meet, Zoom
Yeah.
platforms. Those they all serve a great purpose, but they're, it's a means to an end. You're having a conversation, you're transacting on a contract, you're, uh, implementing a feature in Salesforce, you're executing a project. These are incredible tools for all of that, and and we're all incredibly grateful to be able to use these, and it just
Yeah.
makes the work that we do so much more efficient. But yeah, it's an interesting thought in terms of trust is a currency, and I can think back on a few recent conversations that you've had, I've had with customers that have been in a bit of a storming phase of a project, and where we have that trust, which we've been able to build, using different means or different tools. It just makes overcoming those challenges that much easier.
Mhm.
And it's interesting. I know you've used this line a number of times uh, about getting to a point in a business relationship where you're texting, and I don't, in terms of what that hierarchy is. Is it email, then video calls, then more email, then Slack, then texting. I don't know exactly what that sequence is, but yeah, I don't know what it is about a text message. At least I know for myself, I don't ignore text messages where I ignore a lot of email. Maybe one day it'll turn into, I'll get too many text messages that I'll just unfortunately have to start ignoring those. But um, I can think of it like a very recent example. Yesterday, we were trying to get a decision from a customer, and I was able to just, based on a relationship, send a text message, and it happened pretty quick after that. And there was no phone call, no email. It was just he actually followed up with me this morning in a text, just saying, "Hey, done." So it's not only is it efficient, and it sort of it's the top of the stack, but it's informal too. So I just like,
Yeah.
done, like, perfect. That's all I need to know. So yeah, it was text messaging. That's kind of that's where you gotta, if that is it, maybe that's kind of the bullseye of sort of the indicator of your relationship status, is if you're texting. But who knows? I don't know. What do you think?
I'll add, FaceTiming right above that.
Ah,
If you can pick up the phone and
yeah,
FaceTime a client, that's, or somebody in general, you've
yeah.
got a good relationship. Yeah, that's my view. It's funny you say that. I was at this dinner a couple days ago, and I met, the CFO of one of our great clients, Coast Funds, and, the first thing she said to me, "Scott has sold something to me at every organization that's been at." Tamara had said that, and it was hilarious. No, not even a, "Hey, great to meet you." It's, "Scott Billows always finds me." He texted me and said, "Hey, congratulations on the new role." And that was through a text relationship. So absolutely it works, and obviously in good fun. And she said, "I cannot believe Scott did not fly up here and see me at this dinner. I'm insulted."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't worry, he'll be back in a couple of
Well,
weeks.
if
He
she
will."
listens to this, I'll have to text her a link to this, and tell her at about the 13-minute mark, you're getting an impersonal
Shut up.
shout out. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know who you're talking about, and next time I'm in town, I'll make sure to take her out for a coffee or a meal. So, but that's funny that she brought that up about texting.
Texting is it's amazing. I don't know about you, but I was talking to somebody the other day, and just as you meet more people, as you go to these events, things that I find helpful too is, so that it doesn't feel so transactional, is when I meet somebody for the first time, I'll try to write down some sort of unique characteristic or unique interest or hobby. So you'd be surprised, Scott, how many people on my phone have John the pickleball guy next to their name, just to cue and re-jog that memory. But I find it's one thing to go to these events and meet a bunch of people and create relationships, but the worst is when you go and you met them 3 times and you're saying, "Hey, great to meet you." It's just, you can almost have the opposite effect of, I just introduced myself to this person the last 3 times. So Um, I've got lots of John the golf guy, John the pickleball guy, or a little pickleball emoji next to somebody in there.
Yeah.
Do you do anything
No,
like
I'm
that?
pretty
Or
it's funny you say that. I'm pretty formal in terms of, like, this is a funny conversation we're having, but I'm pretty formal in terms of the actual contact, like, I'm gonna get their first name, last name, and then I'm on an iPhone, so somewhere in the contact record, there's a little box, I think it says notes, so I'll I'll type something in there, in a lot of cases, just as that mental prompt, and I don't know if it's my age or it's just I've got too it's probably a function of the number of people that I've met over the years. I just can't remember everybody's name, and so I'll put something, memorable or something, 'cause oftentimes I'll be like, "Man, what is that person? I met that person, like, a month ago. What is their name?" But I remember that, like, some characteristic about them, and I can
yeah,
actually search on that. So that's my little hack for what I do. But no, I don't throw the emojis into the into their, um into their contact, but, yeah, fun. Texting, FaceTiming. Yeah, FaceTiming, that's an interesting side of the relationship, if you can get there, so that's, I don't know if I've ever FaceTimed a customer, but how about this one? Selfies with a customer. Like, where's that fit? Because you know what? When I think of going to events, I mean, I need to know somebody, I would say reasonably well. I mean, maybe I could pull it off after the first meeting. Hey, can we get a selfie together? You got to have a pretty good hook for why you want that. But I'll give you an example. I was with a customer recently, and I said, as we were having a coffee and we were leaving the coffee place, and I said, "Hey, would you mind if we just took a quick photo together? I want to share it with the team." And
that's a good
their
one.
face lit up, like, it was actually really interesting. Their face lit up, and they're like, "Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great." And, so, um and then I later texted them and said, "Hey, would you mind if I posted this on LinkedIn? This was actually a really good photo of the 2 of us." So, and they agreed to it. So, you know what? Y Perhaps, I feel like we're, like, really down the rabbit hole here in terms of, sort of the indicators of your relationships status with clients, but, yeah, if you're able to text, FaceTime, and or get selfies, you're probably, in a good spot.
We're uh, we're gonna go further down this rabbit hole,
Oh,
Scott,
are we?
because
Oh, good.
I just for a moment, where in the relationship would you say you have to be? Because I know who you're talking about in this case, and great relationship that you've got there. But is this a first meeting? Is this a second meeting? Is this a 10th meeting? Where would you say is a acceptable point in the relationship to be saying, "Hey, let's take a selfie together," and then I'll show you my perspective or what my hooks are to get
Yeah.
people to take
Well, you
selfies.
got well, okay. Maybe to flip that around, like, what would be needed? What's the hook, in after the first meeting? Uh, I think I would probably say, "I wanna share this with the team." Like, "This is a great meeting, we talked about
Yeah.
these things, and I wanna just share that moment with our team." But, like, incredibly comfortable zone would, be, after maybe the second or third or fourth meeting. And I think it too depends on the setting, right? Like, if you meet somebody in an in-person, environment, versus your relationship with them has only been over the camera or over the phone.
Yeah.
I think um, your ability to get a warm response to, "Yeah, sure, let's take a photo, that'd be fun," is probably easier done after you've been, spending some time together. But what do you got?
Have you ever had anybody say no to a selfie request?
No, no.
Okay, I
Have
didn't
you?
think so. No, no, I can't say I have, but I'll tell you, I have not told you this before. I use an excuse every single time. Hey, I want to take a selfie to show Scott that I'm actually doing something out here, and it works. It works every time.
You actually
Then
say
this is
that?
yeah. So I met one of the Salesforce VPs down in San Francisco. First time meeting in person. I said, "Hey, I want to show Scott that I'm not just down here having fun. Let's take a selfie." So it it worked. It landed.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
so
hook.
you are. You are one of my excuses for getting
There you go.
selfies, there as
Love
well,
it.
but
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a good hook. So, uh, hey, let's talk about, and we talked about just the concept of in person and events. It's something I know that you and I have been, outside of this podcast talking about just, future
yeah.
events and, meeting customers. Uh, we've got I guess there's some upcoming events, maybe a couple of plugs that we can do. So, we've got to know, the team over at, Build Good, and they've got a summit, I think it's called the Build Good Summit. It's coming up in May. I don't have the exact dates, but, it's coming up in May. So if you're a Canadian or U.S. say, a North American based charity. This would be a good thing for you to check out. So if you just Google Build Good Summit, you'll learn more about it. It's happening in Toronto, and I believe we're going to be at it. I'm actually next week. Mike and I are doing a podcast, so he
Oh,
came on
nice.
ours. Yeah, he's invited me on theirs, so we're going to record that next week. And but yeah, Mike's a great guy and great team, and
Yeah.
they're doing really good work. So if you're specifically fundraiser, this would be a really good event for you to check out and hopefully make it to Toronto and in the spring. It'll be great in Toronto in the spring. So so check that
M
out, and then I think in
May
parallel,
13th. Yeah,
May
May
13th. Okay.
13th to 14th, which is, in parallel, like you said, with, True North Dreamin, which our customers will actually be presenting. So Rainbow Railroad would actually be presenting there. So we're gonna be there. We're gonna
Yeah.
be there in full force. I do have to give a quick shout out to Lara Wong for introducing us to Mike at Build Good. She was the conductor of that relationship, but our friends at Fundraise Up connected us with Mike, which Build Good, I don't know if you knew this before, but it's the largest it's the largest fundraising conference in Canada and maybe even North America. So it's a big deal. They get a bunch of folks coming out to this, fantastic speakers. So again, the second plug to this, we're going to be there. We're going to host an event, and we're going to be. We'd love to meet you if you're listening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll promote on our socials and I guess through email and whatever other sources we think of. We'll promote our event and yeah, these customer events that we do. I know you love them. I love them. They're so fun. Uh, we've talked a bit about this already on this in this conversation, but just the in person effect and we did. We've done so many of these over the years, but we've when we get customers talking to each other. I like you just did a shout out to Lara for being the conductor or the introducer. I just think of that's these events we do. They're not about us pitching. They're not
yeah.
about us. It's about our customers building relationships with each other. And the one event, Matt, I'm thinking of was the I guess one of the more recent events we did in Toronto where
Hmm.
we tried a little different format and maybe not to tip off everybody who's listening to this so they take this away and implement it in their own events, but we did something unique. So if you're a customer or a prospect of Salesforce, a nonprofit organization, let's say, that has any interest in Salesforce, you should come out to one of our future events, and you'll get to experience the amazingness that it is. So yeah, excited to be doing one here in a couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah. It's everybody who leaves these events. I think we've probably done six in the last year, 5 or 6 in the last year alone. Like
Mhm.
these are fantastic events. People come out of there with, uh, they're just leaving with new connections, having their cups filled with just hearing these great stories as well. And I think that's, you pegged it on the head there. There's no real pitching or hard selling. Actually, to start the event a couple days ago, I opened and I said, I promise I won't pitch you on anything. All right, there will be no sales pitches tonight. And then I looked over to my right, and I had our friends at Sage, and I said, at least not from me. So, but yeah, it all in good fun. People are there to meet one another, and you know what? There's some amazing folks, and I think there's not enough gathering of these like-minded organizations and solving very similar problems as well. So if we can play a small part in facilitating a meeting place or an opportunity to share a connection, I think the reality is the nonprofit ecosystem, people are typically they're up to their eyeballs in terms of they just have so much stuff they're trying to solve. These are very big problems they're trying to solve, and they're often under-resourced, or they're capped for their own capacity as well. So there's nobody that's really, hey, let me bring together these folks, and this is almost creates a good like breathing room or excuse to like, let's pause, let's go meet some new people,
Yeah.
and let's hear how these other organizations are doing it as well. So I think we got to do it even more. It's
Yeah.
just it has such a
Yeah.
warm
I
reception to it.
agree. I agree. So awesome. Well, the theme today, in person, pressing the flesh, just getting out there and shaking hands and building relationships. And yeah, our objective at Belmar really is to do that, is to help these amazing organizations transform with technology. It's a wild time we live in terms of just the rate of change, and technology is moving so fast. I mean, I can't even. Some days I scratch my head thinking like, holy smokes, like where are we going to be at in a year from now? And then you wake up the next day and there's something, a crazy announcement about this new way of doing things. And so at the end of the day, technology really matters. It's moving these organizations forward, and having good relationships with your, in this case, vendor or partner, is really critical, because we, it's almost, Matt, it's funny to think about, but like we're now the steady state. Like uh we know each other. We've got these relationships. Yeah, the technology, it's going to ebb and flow, and it's going to change, and it's coming at us faster today than it ever has. But relationships are going to be the thing that just really is the bedrock to support these orgs
Yeah,
as they move forward, and really make complex decisions in terms of investments and change, and how they're going to serve the needs of their customers, their community, or their stakeholders. So with
yeah.
that, I think we're at a good point where we can tie this off. So any last thoughts?
No, this was an interesting conversation, Scott. We went down a lot of different rabbit holes, but yeah, I think it all ties back to it's people. It's people at the end of the day running organizations, running these nonprofits, running. Yeah, we are people as well. So again, we got a lot of events, and we'd love to have you there. So thanks for doing this, Scott. It was an interesting
Awesome.
conversation.
It was fun. Thanks, Matt.
Okay, cool.
This has been another episode of Belmar Bytes, brought to you by Belmar Consulting. You can follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or on our website at belmarcloud.com.